Hi guys, I'm at the DeLorean Motor Company. I'm with the son of founder Stephen Wynne. This is Cameron Wynne. Cameron, can you introduce yourself to us?
How you doing? I'm Cameron, and welcome to DeLorean, California's office.
Cool. And there's a DeLorean behind you. Clearly, you have something to do with the car.
I do.
You're a franchise of your sister, the mother company, right?
We are. Yes, we are.
So just a little bit of the DeLorean Motor Company and what you guys are doing here.
We do everything from general maintenance to full restorations to actually do time machine conversions here. So we're basically a one-stop shop for everything DeLorean. You name it, we can do it.
Cool. So you sell parts and gear by the sound of things as
We
well.
do. We sell all basically everything you'll need for the car, along with logo items, goods, iPad covers, luggage, clothing, Hot Wheels, everything basically DeLorean.
How long have you been doing this? Because you don't look that old. You
No.
weren't live when the film came out.
No, I'm 31. I've been officially in the DeLorean business for 10 years, but obviously I've been around the car my entire life with my father doing this since before I was born.
So how did your father get into it?
He was originally a French auto mechanic by trade and started working on DeLoreans when they originally went under, and just snowballed from there until what we have today.
Cool. So you have all the parts. How did that happen?
All the parts became up for purchase in the 90s, and we decided to take the plunge and buy all the remaining inventory of parts that was available from the original factory. So basically, we have a very large stockpile of new old stock parts for the DeLorean.
How long can you keep going?
Well, we constantly reproduce parts, so anytime we're running low on everything, we make new anyways. So hopefully forever.
Hopefully forever. And now you got new cars coming in. How did that happen?
We do. We've been working with government for the past couple of years, and we worked with them to get a bill passed with SEMA so we can do low volume production cars, and we can produce up to 300 cars a year. We have to reach modern EPA standards, and we can basically produce a 2017 DeLorean.
Cool. But let's look at the old DeLoreans. And there's a common misconception about these cars in there. If you look at that one, people think that they're really difficult to maintain. Is that true?
They are not. They are very easy to maintain. Once you get the car up and running perfectly, they're good to go. They can be a daily driver for no problems whatsoever.
Really?
Many of my owners in California, it's their daily drivers.
What sort of mileages are people putting on these cars?
We have a customer here that he's owned this car since new, and he's got over 700,000 miles on his car.
700,000
Yep,
miles.
and he drives it every day, and it's the only car he's owned since 1983.
Wow.
Or 82, sorry.
So you're just blowing my mind. All these myths and things that people constantly keep talking up about the car and so on.
Very untrue.
But you're not a fan of the film.
To an extent. I've been being around the car my whole life. It makes me appreciate the car for what it is more than the movie.
Yeah.
You know, I was originally driven to kindergarten in screen used cars.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the car. I love the car. The silhouette of it, everything about it is just beautiful to me.
So I presume you have one.
I do. I have a couple right now, actually.
Really? And are they the normal ones, time machines, regular
They
cars?
are normal, all stock.
Yeah?
Yep,
Cool. So apart from the regular car, you upgrade and service them as well, right?
we do. We
So
do.
what can you do to the DeLorean?
You can do a full suspension kit, so we do a full suspension kit so you can lower it, so the drivability is much better.
Yeah.
We do a stage one and two engine kit, which a stage one kit is a ported performance exhaust, and a stage two kit is performance exhaust with ported and polished heads, performance cams, and takes the car from originally 127 horsepower to 197 horsepower.
Wow, that's a big
Which
jump.
makes quite a bit of difference for a car like this. They're not too heavy, so
Yeah.
any power we can get makes them more fun.
That's another myth as well. I've heard a lot of people saying that DeLoreans are super heavy. What's the weight on these cars?
They weigh about as much as a Miata.
Really?
They're around 3,500 pounds.
Cool.
All said and done.
Well,
So
let's
they're not that heavy.
let's have a look at your shop and see what
Yeah.
you're working on in the
Let's
back.
go on in the shop.
This is a pretty nice facility you got here.
Thank you, thank you. Obviously a time machine that we did here.
So this belongs to your shop manager, you said?
This belongs to Danny Balkin, my service manager.
Cool. How much does it take to make one of these things happen?
It costs about $47,000 and your car. Just for the
$47,000.
conversion.
Yeah. Is it very popular?
It is.
Do you personally think it's a good idea to take up these cars? There aren't that many of them left.
It's personal preference.
Yeah. Well, how many of them are left?
There's
got
about
about-
6,000 still on the road today.
6,000 cars out of a total production run of
9,000.
9,000. And is that number holding steady or the cars falling apart?
I would actually say the number of cars on the road increases more than it decreases these days,
Yeah.
just because of all the barn finds. You know,
Yeah.
cars are reappearing, and we're buying cars that haven't been seen since the daylight of '82. You know, many cars have just been thrown into storage, and now they've exchanged hands and things like that. So now they're starting to come up a little bit more.
Cool. Let's have a look at some of these cars. What are you doing to them?
This car here is getting actually our stage 1 kit right now. It's in progress.
I'm so jealous because I actually want one.
It'll be coming. This one was here for a training service and just some other general maintenance. This is a local customer. He drives it quite regularly, so he just brings it in for his general maintenance.
Yeah.
The car here is for a full restoration. It's actually being restored for a grandfather to give to his grandson.
Nice.
It's been a family car their whole life, so he's having it restored for him.
Yeah.
The other one next to it is also here for a full restoration.
How long does the restoration take?
3 to 6 months, depending on the scope of the work.
And you got a much bigger facility in Texas where
We do.
you're, which is the mothership of
Which is
DeLorean.
headquarters for us. Yep,
Yeah.
that's where all the parts and everything is housed. It's about 8 of these buildings.
8 of these.
Yep. And Houston's warehouse is 40,000 square feet.
Wow, that's an insane
It
amount
is.
of footage.
It is.
For a car that, there are cars with bigger production runs, but this one seems to be somehow get people talking and still get people going after all these years.
It's because it's a pop culture icon because of the movie and just because of the actual story of the car. John DeLorean and his story within the automotive industry is just such an interesting. His story alone is interesting enough, and then you add Back to the Future to it with all the pop culture of the movie, and fans love the car for very many different reasons.
Cool. And so just wrapping things up, if somebody was looking at DeLorean, obviously I'd send them to you, wouldn't I?
Yes.
What would you
Or
say to
one of
people?
our locations.
Globally as well. You're
Yes.
globally as well, aren't
We
you?
are global,
I gotta get this time machine in the background because it's freaking awesome. But but you do global locations as well, right? Where are you?
We are in Amsterdam. We are in all of the U.S. Basically, we have a store in Houston, a store in Naples, Florida, a store in Chicago, a store in Seattle, and this store in California.
Cool. And if somebody was looking at DeLorean, what would you tell them? Because there's a lot of half-truths and misconceptions. We talked about some of them. But
If they're looking to buy, the first thing I would tell them to do is buy the buyer's guide.
Yeah.
James Espy, our president in Houston, actually wrote a book on what to look for when you're buying a DeLorean.
Yeah.
That is the go-to guide for everything you need to know about getting into a DeLorean.
And do you think people should buy them and look at them as a kind of investment, or look at them as a daily driver?
Daily driver.
Yeah?
Cars are made to be driven.
Yeah.
Cars are not made to be drama garage queens.
No.
30-year-old classic cars don't like to sit. The more they're driven, the better they are.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time, Cameron.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Anything you'd like to say to people in the Middle East?
Just have fun and drive DeLoreans.